So what do you mean by data interpretation? What do you mean by data, by the way? Information. What is the purpose of information? What is the purpose of information? Yes, correct. What is the purpose of information? What will you do with that information? You have to make use of that. How will you make use of that information? And then decide. Interpret and then decide. Data as such, so the main purpose of data is decision making. Lots of time you get voluminous data. Till now what we have been doing, all the questions what we have been solving, but the numbers are there. Based on the information around that numbers, we have to solve something and you have to get something, right? Now here the data, the unstructured, if I tell you like this, here I am a car seller and I sold, 2010 I sold 100 units, 2011 I sold 120 units, 130 units in 2012, right? Instead of showing all this, if I say this whole thing in the form of a table, right, 2010, 11, 12, 13, 14, and I write the numbers, my job will be done. Clear or not? Right? So this is the whole purpose of data, to arrive at a decision. Okay. Now, how do you arrive at a decision? How many kinds of data are there? I mean, data can be represented in how many types? It can be represented in the form of a row column type. Clear or not? Right? If I say 2015, 14, 13, 12 and 4 kinds of cars, A, B, C, D, E, 5 kinds of cars are sold. How many units are sold? We just write the numbers over here. Clear or not? Data can be represented in the form of row column type, that is in the form of a tables as well. It can be represented in the form of a line graph as well. So if I write 12, 13, 14, 15, company A's, the graph is something like this. Company B's graph is something like this. Right? Company C's graph is something like this. It can be something, right? It can be represented in the form of a bar graph as well, a line graph as well. It can be represented in the form of a bar graph as well, which means if I represent only company A's data, instead of that, I make lines and I make bars over here. Clear or not? Right? This is for one company's data. But if I want to organize this whole data in a single bar, how will you represent that? In the form of a cumulative bar graph, which means then you have to order the data in the y-axis in such a way that all, say if I write say 100, 200, 300 and 150, say only 4 kinds, 150, 200, 300, 400, 100, 120, 300, 500, 200, 400, 700, 600, right? So if I write the values over here, so then you have to represent it in such a way that it gets distributed equally. As you are seeing, the maximum value for D is 300, 400, 748, 2000, and the minimum value is how much? This one, I guess 500, 600, 750. So can we do like this? Say if I write this as say in blocks of 500, 1000, 1500 and 2000, can we write like this? And then accordingly I distribute it over here. Now if A is 100, it is this much, B is 300, it is this much, right? C is 600, so it will be till here, and D is till from 600 to 750, so it is here. So the bar is like this only. You put different colors here and then the data is distributed, right? Similarly for B, similarly for year 13, similarly for year 14, similarly for year 15, isn't it? So which means the level of compactness increases in case of a cumulative bar graph. This bar graph is also known as histogram. Clear or not? So data is represented in a form of histogram as well. So three kinds we have discussed. The data can be represented in the form of a pie chart as well. So for A, this one, there can be 4 pie charts for A, B, C, D for different years. Clear or not? There can be a single pie chart of different year sales for all the 4 companies, and the distribution is given in the bar graph or a line graph as well. So then we link those 2 graphs and then accordingly we focus on our answers. Clear or not? It can be done like that as well, right? Various forms of representing the graph, and then the questions are asked. Okay, what is more important here is, let me draw one graph and then I ask you some questions. Nothing new is here. Say this is say 100, 150, 90, okay. Oh, 140 or say 50 second, say 45. So it is, let's say 135 here, and this is say 108 here. So these are the 5 values. Clear? Now tell me in which year, so these are the years, say this one, and this is the years 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, right? In which of the years is the growth highest? 11 and 12. I mean in 12 or in 14? So my question is incomplete here. The growth which you are asking, sir, is it the rate of growth or is it the absolute growth? Right? If I say absolute growth, then the absolute growth is higher in here. So absolute growth is higher here. But if you ask me about the percentage growth, both are same, because 50 raised out of 100 is 50%, 45 out of 90 is how much? 50% only. Okay. But if it is say 136, so it is how much? 46. So it is just more than 50%. Clear or not? 46 out of 90 is more than 45 out of 90. So here you can say, if it have been 136 here, you will say, sir, the absolute growth is higher in 12, but the percentage growth is higher in 14. Clear or not? Similarly, the decline, how much here? It is decline is 60, and here it is how much? 27. What is the decline here? It is 40%, because 60 out of 150 into 100 is how much? 40%. Whenever we compare the growth or decline, right, we compare it with the previous year, right, and then accordingly we write the answers. Now be very sure whenever you attempt a data interpretation question, first and foremost whatever is written at the top you should read it very carefully. Lots of times the students make mistakes on that, right? The questions, the values are here like this, but it can be written all the values in 00 or 000, which means it is 100,000 units, 150,000 units. Then the question can ask what is the value in what is the value if the growth rate is say 50% from here, what is the value in 16, right? So 50% of 108 is how much? 54. So it is 162. Answer will be 162,000 and 162 will be given. And what is the value in number of units in 2016? If you write 162, it is wrong. You have to write 162,000, which means you have to be very careful as to what is written over the on top of the graph. What are the values in the x axis? What are the values in the y axis? Clear or not? That you have to be very careful whenever you attempt a DI question. Same with pie chart. Here you are seeing 4 values, say 25%, 30%, 35% and 10%, say. The values can be given in form of percentage as well, with the absolute value, say the sale of 1000 units is distributed among 4 brands in something like this way. The value can be given in the form of degrees as well. So what will be the degree value of this one? You can say total 100% is equal to how much? 360 degrees. Clear or not? So 1% will be equal to how much? 3.6 degrees. So to convert percentage to degrees, you have to multiply the percentage by 3.6. So 25 into 3.6, it comes out to be how much? 90 degrees. Okay, again 3.6, this is how much? 108 degrees. Okay, what is the value of 10%? If this is 108 degrees, this is 30%, this will be 1/3 of 108. You have to calculate orally, you can do that. So 108 ka 1/3 is equal to how much? 36 degrees. Then here you don't have to calculate here, right? 360 you minus it from all this 198, 36, 234, it is 126 degrees. The value can be given in the form of degrees, the value can be given in the form of percentages as well. The thing about data interpretation, everything will be given, right? Some of the basic things they will assume that you know that profit is always equal to sales minus costs. Okay, these are the basic things which they will assume. Otherwise, nothing should be assumed in the data interpretation. Everything is given, has to be given over there. Clear or not? Basic things ये होता है, the more you practice, which you do here in front of me, the more you will become an expert. Okay, clear or not? Right. So before doing the exercise, I want to focus more on the calculation part, how to do effective fast calculation using approximation techniques. How can you use approximation a little bit, right? So for that I show you something. Say what is the value of 1/2? 0.5. What is the value of 1/3? 0.33. That everybody knows, I don't think. What is the value of 1/4? It is half of 1/2. So half of 50 is equal to how much? 25. What is 1/5? Let us write the reciprocals using my approximation techniques. Okay, what is the value of 1/5? 0.20. Okay, so what is the value of, if somebody asks what is the value of 2/5, it is same as saying, sir, 1/5 is 20, 2/5 is twice of 20. Think of numbers as whole numbers, don't assume it as 0.2 and 0.25. So 2/5 is equal to how much? Twice of 20 is equal to 40. 3/5 is thrice of 20 is equal to 60. Clear or not? Now come to what is the value of 1/6? you will say, sir, 1 by 6 you have to know. We can say 1 by 6 is half of 1 by 3. So, half of 33 is equal to how much? 16 and a half, 17, 16 and 17 ke beech. So, it will be roughly 0.166. You should be very careful about the placement of decimals. Okay. If 1 by 6 is there, 1 by 60 is equal to how much? 0.0166. You should be careful with the decimals part. Clear or not? Now, what is the value of 1 by 7? We don't know, because 7 is a, we have to use approximation techniques. I will teach you approximation today. What is the value of 1 by 7? We don't know. Let us assume that we don't know now. We just need to know 1 by 2, 1 by 3 and 1 by 4. You will find that 1 by 4 also you can calculate further. What is the value of 1 by 8? You will say, sir, 1 by 8 is half of 1 by 4. So, half of 25, not 25. Half of 250? 2 is 1, 50 is 25. So, how much? 125. If I write what is 1 by 9, you will say 1 by 9 is 1/3 of 1/3. So, 1/3 of 33 is equal to how much? 11. So, you can write it 11, and 1 by 10 is say 0. Now, what is the value of 1 by 7? Let me find it out. So, what I will do is, okay, what is the difference of 50 and 33? 17. What is the value of 33 and what is the difference in 33 and 25? 8. Clear or not? What is the value, what is the difference in 25 and 20? 5. What is the difference between 20 and say 17? 3. We can say 1 by 2 minus 1 by 3 is more than 1 by 3 minus 1 by 4 is more than something like this. Clear or not? Now, based on the logic, we can say, we are also seeing that as we progress further, the differences are decreasing, which means whatever the value here, the difference between 166 and that value is more than the difference between this value and 125. Can we say this? As we are proceeding further, the difference is decreasing. Clear or not? So, we have to use approximation, not exact value. So, let us see what is the approximate value. We can say what is the value which lies midway between 125 and 166? What is the difference in 125 and 166? 40. 40 half is equal to how much? 20. So, 125 plus 20 is equal to how much? 145. Clear or not? But if 145 I write here, the difference between this and the difference between this is same, which violates the logic which we have been following till now, which means this value 145, it will be just less than 145, only a little bit, but it will be less than 145. Roughly it will be in the range of 144 or 143, something like this. So, the value will be 143 here. Just the approximation technique. You do not have to remember what is the value of 1 by 7, but by using approximation you can find any value. Yes, it is there. What is the difference here? 23, and what is the difference here? 18. More is there. We are using approximation. We are not using exact technique, approximation. Okay. Clear? Also, if you have to calculate some percentage values, lots of time you have to calculate. If you have to calculate say 11% of say 179, right? What is the value of 11% of 179? And invariably the options will be a little far from each other. So, think of numbers as whole numbers. We can say, sir, if I decrease the percentage by 1%, 10%, and if I increase the number to 180, the value will be nearly same. if not exactly same, it will nearly same, right. So here 10% of 180 is easy to calculate, 18. This value is also nearly 18, just more than 18, say 18.3, 18.4, something like this. Clear or not? At most 19, not more than that, right. But the chances of an option coming as 18.1, then 18.3, then 18.4 and then 18.5, and then you mark the option, the chances of that coming is very rare, because you are not giving a banking exam, you are giving a CSAT exam where basic aptitude is tested. He is not going to become a mathematician, right. So that common sense you have to apply here. Till now, for the last 3-4 days we have been doing on exact, this is exact value, but here today we are using approximation techniques. Clear or not? These are some of the techniques which you can use. Okay, so now if I tell you what is the value of say 1 by 11, now what is the value of 1 by 11 and 1 by 9? You are seeing here there are some things which comes instantly. What is 9 into 11? 99. What is 9 into 0.11? 0.99, which is closest to 1, which means 9's inverse is 0.11, then 11's inverse is 0.09. You can easily find it out. 9 and 11 have a brotherly kind of relationship, right. So 9's inverse is 11, 11's inverse is 9. Clear or not? Right, because this is closest to 1. Again, if I tell you what is the value of 1 by 12, you can calculate by difference method as well. You can calculate approximately, because 1 by 12 is half of 1 by 6. So half of 166, half of 16 is how much? 8. Half of 6 is how much? 3. So 8, 3. You have to be very careful with the 0 as well. You have to place a 0 as well. Clear or not? So if says 8.33%, that means you can assume that it is 1/12 of something. So 8.33%, if somebody says 8.33% of 96, you don't have to calculate 8.33 and multiply it. You should assume it is 1 by 12. So 1 by 12 of 96, you can blindly write it to be 8. Clear or not? That way you can just have an edge over others in terms of calculation, right. No rocket science involved. I am not teaching any basic maths and all that, just basic approximation techniques. Clear or not? Right. So can you do some calculation, basic calculations? So some questions which require calculations here, right. Since the class timing today is till 1 only, so we will do limited sets. Some calculations you can practice at home as well. You have got a practice test booklet as well. You have got lots of questions on that. Clear or not? Okay. Now next we move on to the topic of sufficiency. What do you mean by data sufficiency? Now here again the funda is different here. Sufficiency means sufficient and data. Whether sufficient data is available to answer the question. Okay. If somebody says, sir, all the other days the classes were 2 hours, today it gets over at 1. Sunil says to me, sir, today's class gets over at 1. Why it gets over at 1, I have to ask him. And unless he gives me the information, right, that question will remain a question in my mind, right. Unless and until he tells me, okay sir, one class has got started by half an hour early, that question will remain a question in my mind, whether sufficient data is available to answer the question or not. So as a manager, why do you require data sufficiency? You will be managing people. Okay. So to give one very simple example. What's her name, ma'am? Pooja. Acha, Pooja is a say manager in a big company, car company, and say we all are say workers working under her. We all make 4 types of cars. I make brand A car, she makes brand B, you make brand C, and he makes brand D. Okay. Pooja's boss tells her one day that Pooja, tell me how many cars of brand A, brand B, brand C, brand D have you made? Give me or report me the data back in an Excel format in say half an hour's time. Pooja being a manager, she always sits in the office, but we are workers. She gets back to me, Deepak, please tell me how many cars of brand A you have made. I am an illiterate person, right? Okay, and so are you right now. If we tell her, ma'am, I have made this many tires of car brand A, this many tubes, this many seat covers and all that of brand A, will she be able to relay back the information to her boss? I have made her life more difficult for her, isn't it? So have you. Probably she will say, in the process of me giving the reply, sir, ma'am, I have made this many tires, this many tubes, this many all these seats and all that, but I have made this many dies of brand A car. She will probably infer, okay, that many die equals that many cars. Rest of the information she can delete and say, okay, you go back to your work. Okay, same with you, which means what information was needed to relay back? That many dies of cars. Dies आपको पता है ऊपर की छत जो होती है, right? Okay, so which means whether sufficient data is needed by her, how much data was needed? Just one data was required, right? She gets a voluminous kind of data from my side, but only if she reads properly, she reads only that particular data, and that's her job is done. Rest is crap. Clear or not? That is what the purpose of data sufficiency is. Okay, so questions of data sufficiency are given this way. Say if I give you, what is the speed of the train? This is the question which I am asking. Okay, and then I give you statements number 1 and 2, and the options could be something like this. Option number A, question can be answered, and these are the 2 statements which are given over here, which will help Pooja in answering the question ki what is the speed of the train. Clear or not? These are 2 statements which I will write right now. Okay, the option number A will be, question can be answered using one statement alone but not the other alone. Then you mark option A. So one but not other is option number A. Option number B, question can be answered using both the statements independently, one alone as well as 2 alone, or both the statements independently, यानी कि both alone. Clear? Or both can be we change the wording to be both independently. Then you mark option number B. Option number C, question cannot be answered using both the statements alone, but when combined together gives the answer to the question. So when combining, then you mark option C. And option D is we cannot, even by combining we cannot answer. Here the purpose is not to answer ki what is the speed of the train. Whether sufficient parameters are got from statement 1 or 2 or combining both is the question here, is the purpose. So there are 2 stages involved. If the question is difficult, then you have to find the answer to the question as well, and after having found the answer to the question, then you have to mark the option as well, ki which option fits in. So 2 barriers are involved in solving these kind of questions. Okay, so first and foremost you have to imbibe the options very fast in your mind. A means one but not other, किसी एक से. B means अलग अलग से. C means combine करके, D means नहीं. So you have to do that very fast. Okay. Lots of the time it happens that when this is a question, these are two statements here. Let me write the statements first. The time taken to cross a platform of length 200 meter is 20 seconds. The time taken to cross a man is 5 seconds. So two statements are given here. Clear or not? Okay. Lots of time it happens, don't solve the question, that you will do it afterwards. It happens that when you use statement number 1, you get the answer to the question. Assume that you get the answer to the question. Then you forget this statement. You should consider this statement does not exist, because you have used this statement to answer the question. Then the answer to the question will not be C or D. It will be either A or B. Lots of the time it happens that when you use a second statement to answer this question, you get a different answer from the first statement. Then the confusion arises that whether we should mark D as the answer. Because what is the speed of train? Here the speed is something different, here the speed is something different. Your answer should be not D but B, because you are getting an answer to the question. Unless it is an illogical answer, you are getting an answer to the question. Okay? So lots of the time it will happen that this statement has two answers, but this statement has a definite one answer. Clear or not? If this statement has a one answer and this has two answers, that means this statement does not answer our question. Then your option will be A. Clear or not? Lots of the time it happens, this has two answers, this has two answers. But when combined together gives a unique answer, then you mark C. Clear or not? Right? So now, given the fact that these are the four options, and this is the question and these are the two statements for you, tell me what is the answer to the question. Don't answer the question what is the speed of the train. Answer is C, D, B, A, B. C. Pooja? Okay. What is the speed of the train? Sir, we have to know the length of the train, and let the speed be V. When the train crosses a platform, it crosses, as I told you on that day, time and speed, it crosses its own length as well as the length of the platform with its own speed of V. So from the first statement, it comes out that L plus 200 by V is equal to 20 seconds. Clear or not? From the second statement, when it crosses a man, according to you, it crosses its own length. So it is L by V is equal to 5 seconds. So two unknowns, two equations, you will get the value of V here. Clear or not? Right? Now, you get the value of V, whatever the value comes, you will mark C as your answer. Clear or not? Lots of the time you do solve it questions. If the value of V comes out to be negative, then you will say, sir, it's illogical. The answer will be D only. But assume that you get V as a positive value and you say, sir, this is the speed of the train. But this is not my question. My question is, so option is will be C. We combine. So answer will be C, right? Clear or not? Answer is wrong. C is not the answer. That's where degree of biasness comes. When it crosses a man, we do not know whether the man is moving or not. If it moves with the train, the effective relative speed will be V minus V man. If it moves against the strain, it will be V plus V man, but V man we have to consider, because it is not said that the time taken to cross a static man, it is not said the time taken to cross a pole. If it would have been pole, this is the equation and your answer would have been C. If it is a man, it should write a standing man. Standing man is same as pole only. Clear or not? Hence the answer to this question will be D. Clear or not? Right? Clear or not? Right? Can we do one or two questions? Can we do? Okay. The options will be some, so imbibe the options very fast in your mind. A is किसी एक से, B is अलग अलग, C मतलब combined, D मतलब we cannot. Clear or not? So if these are your options and the question is something like this. Is x equal to 3? Why? Which means? Yes, very good. A long time. We can say, sir, x is either plus 2 or minus 2. Here x is minus 2. I am asking, is x equal to 3? You will say, sir, from first step x is not equal to 3. No is also an answer. Is the class happening beyond 1? No, sir. No is also an answer. So no is an answer, which is answer is can be got. Here also no, x is minus 2 and not equal to 3. So here the option will be option number B. But if I ask you, what is the value of x? X is an integer. Then what will be an answer in that? A is answer, because what is the value of x? First case R, x2 values are got, but there is a single value which is got. So from second statement we are getting the answer, from first statement we are not getting the answer. Remember that when you use the second statement and you get an answer, then you have got no right to combine these two statements. You can say, sir, it is minus 2, it is plus and minus. So combine this, we get the value of x to be minus 2. No, we cannot combine, it is illogical. Again, because we have got an answer to the question independently using this statement. If you have got an answer independently using this statement, then you cannot combine it. Clear or not? Sir, yes.
Previous question. You are asking if x is equal to 3. Your question is only this. X is equal to 3.
Or not.
तो हमारे पास दो स्टेटमेंट है, x
Okay.
इक्वल टू हमारे पास एक वैल्यू आ रही है प्लस माइनस 2
Okay.
और एक दूसरे से आ रही है माइनस 2.
Okay.
ओके सर. तो हम x की वैल्यू पता है, लेकिन आप पूछ रहे हो कि x इक्वल टू 3 और नॉट.
हाँ.
तो वी कैन नॉट आंसर सर.
No, sir. हाँ या ना तो बता ही सकते हो ना.
नो हाँ या ना का डिसीजन आपको,
क्योंकि
ये DS है ना सर.
दैट्स व्हाट आई टोल्ड यू ना. इज क्या x की वैल्यू 3 है?
नहीं है.
तो बस हो गया ना आंसर कि नहीं है. आंसर तो आ गई ना कि नहीं है. यू आर गेटिंग एन आंसर ना कि नहीं है, तो बस हो गया. दैट्स वेयर द कंफ्यूजन अराइजेस. सर वी कैन मार्क D as well. Purposefully I gave you this question. Are you getting it? Clear or not? Can I give you one more question? Okay, an easy one or a somewhat difficult one? एक आसान वाला देता हूँ फिर difficult वाला दूँगा. Okay.
Sir, so for x equals 3, is x equals 3, so option answer will be
B. But what is the value of x? The option will be A.
only either one of them you can get an.
What is? I have not asked you what are the values of x. If what are the values of x, then we can get a value from this one, right? We cannot get a, because it is, there is a premise that there are multiple values of x. Clear or not? Are you getting it? So the 3 or 4 kinds of questions and 3 or 4 options can be got using that same question, and that is enough to create a confusion in the minds of the student. Clear or not? Okay. Question is, there are 2 kinds of chocolates. Question is, there are 2 kinds of chocolates. Okay. One is an 80-gram chocolate. One is a 120-gram chocolate. Clear? There are 2 varieties of chocolates. Either the chocolates are of 80 grams or 120 grams. The prices of each chocolate is proportional to their weights. Prices is proportional, directly proportional to their weights. Clear or not? Okay. What is the price of an 80-gram chocolate? What is the price of an 80-gram chocolate? Clear or not? Of 180-gram chocolate. What is the price of an 80-gram chocolate? Right? The prices of 80-gram and 120-gram chocolates are proportional to their weights. What is the price of an 80-gram chocolate? This is the question. Statement number 1. 1 80-gram and 120-gram costs 30 rupees. Clear? Second one, 5 80-gram chocolates price sorry 6 80-gram chocolate price is equal to price of 4 120-gram chocolates. The price of 6 80-gram chocolates is equal to the price of 4 120-gram chocolates. And the first statement is 1 80-gram and 1 120-gram chocolates cost 120 rupees. The price of 80-gram and 120-gram chocolates are proportional to their weights. What is the price of 1 80-gram chocolate? What is the answer? A, B, C or D? A, then B. B, okay. And who said C? Is it CB ka? C. Why C? 120 grams. Okay. Okay. You will say, sir, in some of the cases, question itself contains information for you to solve the question. When it says prices are proportional to their weights, which means we can say price of 80 by price of 120 is equal to 80 by 120, which is P80 by P120 is equal to 2 by 3. One equation is given and one equation here is P80 plus P120 is equal to 30 rupees. So one equation here and one equation here. So you can solve using this statement independently. Clear or not? So you can get the answer using this statement. Now when you get this statement, when you have used this statement, now think of this one. 6P80 is equal to 4P120, which means 3P80 is equal to 2P120. This is same as what is given in the question. 3P80 is equal to 2P120. It is just rephrasing it. Now the doubts will come in your mind is, okay, if this is the case, we can combine these two statements and get the answer and mark the answer as C. Two equations, two unknowns, mark the answer as C. But notice, this statement is a rephrased form of the question. So this is of no use for me. This is of no use for me. So only statement 1 is required to solve the question, which means the answer is A option. Clear or not? Clear or not, everybody? Okay. Clear or not? Can I give you one good question now again? Okay. This I gave in one of my online lectures as well, which I did, but you were not there, so I can give you that question. Question is 3rd March of the year a Sunday? Clear or not? Same year. First statement, 23rd Feb of the same year is a Sunday. Clear or not? 5th March of the same year is a Wednesday. Is 3rd March of that year is Sunday? First statement, 23rd Feb of the same year is a Sunday. 5th March of the same year is a Wednesday. What is the answer? A, B, C, D. A or C? A, which means we can use which statement? Second वाला. First वाला क्यों नहीं? Okay. So if 5th March of the same year is a Wednesday,